Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great evening. Yesterday on the deck, it was 92 degrees, no wind, and it almost seemed cool after the day before when it was 102. So we got 2 more days of hot weather. Then they have promised us some moisture over a couple of 3 days. I sure hope they're right because we are dry as a bone, and the winter wheat crop is being stressed minute by minute. We desperately need moisture here. We're way behind on the year, and we had a pretty dry winter too. So here we are. We left yesterday's market wanting to sell failure to take out 20 to 24. That still looks reasonable today to get started this morning. So our first sell is 19 to 23. Today, the biggest dynamic driving the market is going to be the 3-year auction, given the lack of news. Second sell is 27 to 31. On the buy side, 9 to 13. I think we might go a little lower, get stops below the overnight session, but we may have to pay up like we did yesterday. Yesterday, we left the market wanting to buy 13s to 17s. The overnight session low is 14, so it came in right on top of that. Getting long below 15.5 does give us an advantage. So we'll try to buy 9s to 13s out on this first break, first rotation lower, but we may have to pay 15s or 16s to get in. Always like to buy on the cheap Charlie. I've been called that before, but quite often we get our prices on the treasuries and the bond. The news is pretty limited. Overnight, China's PMI fell again. It's been down for, I think they said 7 months in a row. So China is showing some economic softness. Out of Europe, Spain's numbers were a little worse than forecasted. Italy's were equal. The EU's numbers, retail sales, beat expectations. So, and the European Union's service index was as expected. So the news is mixed overnight. Europe showing a little stronger economy. China showing a little softer. Today we have trade balance looking for minus 40.5. This number has no impact on the trading. So we're down to the direction of the E-mini, and the top of its resistance area, top of the bracket, 80.85 held. And then the 3-year auction. So I think because of the 3-year auction, we may get a little help from the E-mini going lower this morning if it bounces. But I think when the day is all said and done, we're looking at a 3-year auction, and I think the market will be sideways to higher based on that. So I like the buy side best this morning, and we'll try to buy it on the cheap, but we may have to pay up and get long at 16 or better. The overnight sessions, again, they just provide loot if you'll take the trade. We wanted to sell failure to take out 20 to 24. The high is 20.5. We had a 13 to 17 buy. The low is 14. Pretty hard to beat that, and we consistently see this day in and day out. The overnight sessions are fun to trade. They do take patience, though, and that really kind of works in your favor as a beginning or novice trader. You come into trading, swing trading, position trading, hopefully not keeping your losers till eventually they recover, but probably so. And going to day trading really accelerates the time required to make a decision. And because you wonder why we let our losers run. It's our background. It's our trading. We've come in, we've bought stocks, we've held them. Eventually they bail us out if the company doesn't go bankrupt. So we come in with this mindset that, I'm a little bit wrong, but given some time, it'll come back. In the case of futures, you own nothing. You own the right to buy and sell at a particular price. It's not an asset. It's a trading vehicle, and that attitude of being able to ride out the storm, weather the storm, kills you trading futures. So you got to learn how to deal with that if you're going to be successful. Okay, on the 30-year, yesterday we wanted to sell failure. We had a sell at 27 to 31. The high is 27. Touched in London, and our buy was 13 to 17, and we have our low at 17. The knob spread widened a little bit overnight, so this one has been hard to buy, but we'll make 13 to 17 our buy one. Hopes we can go a little lower. May have to pay up. We may be getting long in the 16 to 20 area, and then 5 to 9 for buy 2. And we'll leave the sell 27 to 31. I'm really more interested in being a buyer today, not a seller, just because of the auction and the way those dynamics work. So that's what I have for the bond. Okay, the Ukraine was quiet overnight. There are a lot of cross currents going on with gold right now. It's really hard to put your finger on what exactly is driving it, but last night we left the market with some Russian politicians saying Russia will cross the border of the Ukraine at 7 p.m. local time. It didn't happen. The fighting, I believe yesterday they reported 4 killed and 20 or 30 wounded. Hasn't really escalated today. The Ukraine is trying to regain control of, I think, 9 cities, or parts of 9 cities in the eastern Ukraine. And the reason for this is that the IMF said if you don't control eastern Ukraine, we're going to redo that $17 billion loan that we gave you. We left yesterday's market wanting to sell the 10 to 13 area, then 15 to 17. The high is 1460. Our first buy yesterday was 3 to 5, and we haven't quite gotten there. So I think that sounds reasonable again. So we'll make 10 to 13, sell 1. Because we are moving lower and we've got this down here, I'm going to drop the buy to 1300 to 1303, and then 95, 97. Don't think they can break the market because of, again, all the economic uncertainty that we all face daily. But I think the first move might be lower, and we might be able to buy it a little cheaper than we wanted to last night. But the overnight recommendation to sell 10s to 13s. If you'd taken that trade, you'd be money ahead. You'd be smiling ear to ear. So that's we got the direction right on our first 3 markets overnight. And we do this day in and day out. And the reason that we can make these kind of calls and have that kind of success rate is that the overnight market trades technically. And they honor support and resistance. And the overnight trading is dominated by institutional traders, and they know where support and resistance do lie. And they trade it as such. Okay, the euro, it just broke out last night, just exploded to the upside. And I'm sure Mario is banging his head against the wall. I didn't find a particular piece of news that explains this breakout, but very, very strong market, moving higher, and looks like it's going to retest resistance in the 39.75 area. It has had a huge move. Usually when we come in, the market will pause. So we'll make 45, 55, sell 1. And then we'll make 70, say 65, 75, sell 2. If anybody has a particular piece of news that might explain this, I'm all ears. We'll make 25 to 15 buy 1. And then the breakout at 39 even, we'll make 39 plus or minus 5 for buy 2. Merkel came out yesterday saying more talks are needed. The fact that there wasn't any fighting, it didn't escalate overnight, that their gas seems secure, could be the reason for the rally. I don't know. I couldn't find any news to explain it, so hopefully our European counterparts have that and will help us out here. Okay, crude was pretty quiet overnight. Just kind of moved sideways. My guess is it's because the Ukrainian-Russian situation is on hold, not going anywhere. I had a seller against 100, which is where we wanted to get short. Yesterday we left wanting to sell 99.50 to 75, then 100 to 100 and quarter, and the high is 83. We're at 44, so we've had very, very little movement. So I'll make 75 to the buck, sell 1. 25 to 50, sell 2. I'm going to open it up. Volume's low in this distribution, so we'll make maybe stops below 99. 75 to 99, buy 1. And then 25 to 50, buy 2. May have to raise our bid to 99, 99 and a quarter. We'll just have to see how that plays out. Okay, the E-mini. Now, I think we're going to start off with an F1 chart on the E-mini. And you can just see that we're into this red area. I've got a huge P here. We had a new move start out of the 65 area yesterday. We've had a pretty strong rally up from the 45 areas. If we did an I split, this is what it'd look like. So pretty good chance that technical resistance in this 82, 85 area has held. Which leads me to believe we might have a retest of support. We still have our 40, 45 area, this high volume number down here is the draw, and you got to bust 55 to get there. So the first little band of support is going to be 65, 67. You're at the top of a trading range. Things look bright. You have to ask yourself, has anything really, really changed? Well, the economic news this week's a little better than forecast, considerably better than forecast given last Friday's numbers. But, I mean, I haven't found a news article after the headlines that didn't say Friday's numbers were cooked and don't really reflect reality at all. But it takes a good piece of news to get to the top of the trading range. So has anything really changed in our situation? Well, the unemployment numbers continue to be distorted to put on the best possible face on this administration's economic policies. Some of the economic news, automobile sector still continues to be strong at north of 16 million vehicles per year. That's big. The energy sector continues to look good. So we got an economy running on two sectors right now, and hopefully it'll spread. I really would like to see people go back to work. It's painful watching this. So looking at this structure, buying the 65, 67 area structurally makes sense. Selling the 82 to 85 area makes sense. Then we have to be right. I know. Charlie, I wish you wouldn't say that. See, I didn't get the F1 screen up, so a picture's worth 10,000 words, right, Fitz? Okay, here's resistance, and it held overnight. We rejected this area. That's rejection. And right here's this high volume number. And I think we got a pretty good chance of getting on. So the 60 to 65 I think is pretty good support. 80 to 85 is resistance based on this screen. Looking at the F2 screen, the high was touched in London, and it's sold since then. We were pulled back to the high volume number from yesterday's distribution. So we've got all this volume right here, and then we have big volume down here at 65. So I'm guessing we've got, starting out, we've got support at 65 to 70, and we've got resistance 80 to 85. And going to want to sell the 80 area plus or minus 1 and sell the 85 area plus or minus 1. On the buy side, I think we can trade a little lower, but here's where we are. So I'd like to buy 70 to 72 off the idea that the top of the trading range held. And that's my only idea. No news to drive the trading today. If this market is stronger than I think it is, this 75 area is going to hold. So we're going to start off trying to buy it on the cheap. I'd love to buy 65, 67, that high volume number. If I were going to have a resting limit buy out there, it would be at 65, 50, 66. And we'll see what happens. So does the technical trading range hold or not? That's where we are. Stop that other recording.